Hello everyone, welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. A very good evening to all of you. I hope all of you can see me and hear me clearly. Please let me know if I am visible and audible to all of you, and then we will start the session. Reading comprehension, sociology, anthropology. Most of the passages are sociology and anthropology. I think one I have chosen on science and technology. If we have the time, we shall start. Hello, Sonali. Where are the rest? Quickly give me a thumbs up and we will start the session. All right, I can see people joining in on the app. Need to wait for a couple of minutes. Why do you want me to wait? Right? Quickly, you know the session starts at 7. Join in at 7 and be there. Good evening, Shivam. I've changed my specs. I don't think my sight has improved much. All right. Good evening, Akanksha, Lakshman, Sonali, Shubham. All right. The first slide shows you reading comprehension in the last 4 years. Take a good look. All right. We're waiting for others to join, but that doesn't mean why should people who come on time be punished, right? So let's start. Yes, Aditya, Satakshi, Eldo, Ushnisha, Kaira, Lakshay, everyone, good evening. Good evening, Shubham. Where are the rest on YouTube? Quickly, quickly join. So as you see, 24 out of 36, that was way back, that was in the past. All right, sometimes get 25, sometimes guessing. Kush, that's because you're not focusing, you're probably guessing. All right, the two reasons why your marks fluctuate, because I think the marks have been pretty consistent. We've kept it really consistent every time. So one, you're not focusing when you're doing your RCs. That's very important. All right, do read the passages, don't panic. All right, good evening, and try to see if it helps. Second, don't guess your answers. Have a strategy on what basis you are eliminating the options. All right, good to be back. I was missing teaching. I had so much of mock work to do. I want to give you really good mocks comparable to CAT, not make it ridiculously difficult for anybody. Today's passages are also easy to moderate. I do not think CAT passages are ridiculously difficult. Okay? If you read well, you get the passages right. And other thing is, I believe when we're taking these classes, not the mocks, I think they should be a little easier, right? So I've kept the passages and questions not very difficult. They're easy to moderate level because it's a session and I want you to understand how to read and apply the rules to it. Uh, Tarun, why don't you send a mail to somebody? Unable to log in app. Harsh, Tarun, one of our tech people must be listening in. I hope they will do something. All right. uh, on a regular basis or just now, Tarun? You're not able to log into this session. I'm sure somebody, one of our tech team people who listening in will manage. Good evening, Manjusha, Manvi, Trupal. All right, we've got a good crowd. Let's start. If you're not able to log in on the app, Tarun, right now, watch it on YouTube. So if you can see reading comprehension, we'll have 16 questions. Para jumbles, you can expect 3. Summary, you can expect 3. And not odd sentence, but para completion, you can expect 2, right? Now, if you look at the genres, they have not really been, the sources and genres have not been very widely varying. All right, if you look at it, New York Times, Aeon essays, excerpts from books. Quite a lot excerpts from books have been taking up. Then it must be just a maintenance problem. I'm sure you will see it later. All right, somebody in the tech team must be working on it. Now, the genres that you should be looking at are sociology and anthropology. 3 passages on that I've given today. Ecology, zoology, biology, ecology, climate change, environment, pollution. Zoology, biology, penguins, octopuses, cuttlefish, and once in a while a tough passage on philosophy or psychology. If you've been attempting our mocks, you will see we have mixed up these genres in a very good way. I hope you've been taking the mocks and you have been consistently taking the mocks. Okay. Once in a while, a philosophy passage may be difficult. You may not have time to attempt it, but that's fine. Somebody in the tech team will, I have noted it down, somebody in the tech team will definitely resolve your problem of not being able to sign in. All right. Okay, these are the genres. Are you reading on these genres? Are you reading properly? I hope you are. Science and tech, ecology, language, linguistics, culture and lifestyle, psychology and philosophy. All right. Do not guess. Whatever you do, do not guess. That's all I am saying, Aditya. Okay, even if you're in a hurry, it's better to answer one question correctly rather than get two wrong. That's always been my experience. All right, these are the marks. I'm not a numbers person, but basically 43 you get, you're in the 99.5 percentile. That's what I would be aiming at, because I personally believe verbal ability is easy. All right. Yeah, there are good days and bad days. Okay, like Pakistan's bad days are going on, but I don't like it. I mean, they should play well. I think that they letting the psychology affect them a lot. uh, so these are the marks you should be looking at. I would personally love to see all of you get these kind of scores. All right, and I'm sure you will do it if you do it consistently. I'm a romantic, I'm an idealist, I'm an eternal optimist, and I'm sure you'll do it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to say, "Mujhe 99 plus chahiye." For that, I need to solve three passages definitely, two and a half with properly, the other half with some educated guesses, and then Monish at least eight fact based. But the fact based will not look like it's fact based. That's the problem. Mohan, fact based will not look like it's fact based. That's the thing. According to the author, and then it will be indirect. But according to the author, according to the passage, means it is given in the passage. That's what I called a fact based or a direct question. Even the direct questions are slightly indirect. Conclusions you can derive from it is nothing but the main point. If they ask conclusion of the last paragraph, second paragraph, third paragraph. All right. Thought flow. Okay, so when the moment they say flow of ideas in the passage, order in which ideas have appeared, immediately don't start marking. Read the passage one more time quickly. As you read, mark the main points as you see it. You will get it right. 9 out of 10 times you will get it right. Okay, all right, ready to start, all of you. Okay, let's start. I'll give you, where's my timer? I'll give you about 30. I want to finish all three passages if I can. For the last passage, we will rush through just like you will rush through in the exam. That's what I like. Okay, let me get my timer on. Okay, uh, 40 seconds. I will adjust it to 40 seconds. All right, start. C says find it hard to solve argument. We've got some strengthening questions here. I will do one here. Brinda, you have to give me an example. Okay, let's finish this. I'll come to your question. I've given you 50 seconds. Anyone done reading or a little more? You're taking a complete minute to read the passage. All right, a little less than one. Next. Brinda, I'll answer your question when I come to a question. All right? Okay, read now. Okay, shall we go to the next slide? Yes. Shall we go to the next slide? Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. First slide, I gave you more time. Second slide, less time. Third slide, for the content that is there, more time. All right. Now, before we go to the thing, what what was the passage like for reading? Easy for reading. In terms of reading, what was the passage like? In terms of reading, what was the passage like? Easy, moderate, difficult. EMD. Quickly. Then we look at the main idea. What is the idea the author is trying to highlight in the passage? The passage made easy reading, right? Topic was migration, right? All right. Main point, easy question. Easy question ताकि आपको पता चले. Okay, I've given you more time for the first slide. I gave you more time for the last slide, right? So you can get the main point easy. Even those of you who say नहीं main point नहीं आता है, ये question तो आना ही चाहिए, right? Okay. What is the correct answer? So most of you found it easy reading. A few said moderate, which is fine. All right. One of the actually this happened differently. Okay. The person who created this passage created it without my knowledge. I created a summary question for a mock from the same passage. That is why it is familiar to all of you. All right. Answers. I'm getting D, B, C, all kinds of answers. D, B, C. They should be okay. Most of them are D. All right. Migration was rapid and in one huge sweep. ये तो नहीं है. This is exactly contradicting what the author has said, right? Okay, why not B? B was mentioned in the passage, correct? B was mentioned in the passage, but it is not the main point, right? Then you have C and D. Now, between C and D, all those who marked C and did not look at D. Why did you mark C? Quickly give me your reason. बहुत सारे C's हैं. Equal number of D's. But tell me, all those who marked C, tell me why C and why not D. All those who marked D, C को आपने reject क्यों किया? One reason why you rejected C, tell me. And those who marked C, tell me one reason why you rejected D. Then I'll tell you why. I'm not saying for one person said मेरा mocks consistent नहीं है. Consistent इसलिए नहीं है because your strategy, when you are reading, you are not reading correctly, you are guessing. You are relying on your imperfect memory. Main point के लिए आप, what is the strategy for main point? You know that main point question will be asked in some form or the other, at least in 2 out of 4 passages, right? So, because there's such a big number who marked C, right, we will look at why. Let's look at first line, migrated out of Africa multiple times. Levant is a place, Eastern Mediterranean region was called Levant, okay? Then little is known about the paths they took in the migration. Then he says our evidence shows the path they took in migrating. They might have gone this way, they might have gone that way. And in the end, he said, our findings, this is all about the research. Our findings indicate that there were multiple human migrations, but this happened multiple, it did not happen once. So what is the main point? The path they took, or the or D, which is that migration happened in one sweep? Oh, you don't remember coast, but that will come later. So Navneet, you have to go back to the passage, right? C was particular part of the passage. That's why you eliminated. C talks about ways rather than the research has found they migrated. Earlier, the view was they migrated in one shot, and now researchers know this migration happened multiple times rather than in one sweep. And this migration happened in different pathways. Earlier, what was believed, now what is believed. If the whole article talked about that, I don't know if they accepted. Therefore, it is C. Yes, C is, it is D. C has been mentioned about what routes they used. Whether they said they use river, wetland system or coastal routes, we have to check. If you're not sure, go back to the passage and check. All right. Okay, next question. Now, first tell me, what is the question asking? All of the following statements are not true except. What are you searching for? All of the following statements are not true except. Nikhil, I don't know if I can give the. I don't have this thing with me. That right? I just take sessions. Okay, guys, iska kya hai? What is the question asking? Yes, the question, as Shivam says, is asking you that all the statements here are not true. One statement is true. Find out the true statement. Exactly. कौन सा statement true है? That's all you have to do. That is step number 1. Step number 2, now look at the options and tell me which is correct. Okay, now I can take you back to the passage. Tell me now, do you want me to take you back to the passage? I'll take you back to the passage for this, if you don't remember, because you have to do that if you don't remember. Okay, if you want me to take you back to the passage, I shall take you back. Tell me quickly. जिसको याद नहीं है, I'll take you back to the passage. Read it for 15-20 seconds. Humans migrated out of Africa chiefly by sea. इस पे कोई doubt है? Go back to the passage. Okay, let's go back to the passage. But I'm not going to tell you where you will find the answer. I'm only going to show you the passage for 20 seconds each of the slides. Okay, जिसको जो करना है देख लो. I'll show you for 20 seconds only. This is how. So you will do better in the next question. Even if you have a doubt, you will not have. This is not regression. This is checking up. This is just remembering the answer, cross-checking. All right? 20 seconds. Then I'll take you to the next one. Next slide. Confusion hoga. You're meant to have confusion. The answer options are meant to confuse you. So if you want to get the correct answer, you can recheck, but that recheck has to be done really quickly by reading the correct part of the passage. I don't have that freedom, so I'm showing you the entire passage, 20 seconds per slide. Tanmay asked me specifically कि ये part ले चलो, but I took you through the entire passage, so you can check whichever. Okay. Now, when you've read it the second time, now you know the passage also thoroughly and you're getting a question right. So it's not a waste of time. Don't think of it as a waste of time, but read really quickly. All right. That is the key. एक बार तो पढ़ चुके हो. Now, where were we? Question 2, right? All right. Now tell me. Now the answers, even if you gave another answer at the beginning, you can change your answers, okay? But mention the question number and the answers. Karthik says B. From there, I have seen the answers. If anyone wants to change your answer, you can change. That is which option? Navneet, B lagao fir. Jordan had fresh water, mat bolo, B lagao. All right. Kush says, Karthik says B. Kush Patel says it's D. All right. B or D. That much is certain. All right. Ab, has B been mentioned? Those of you who marked D, B mentioned हुआ कि नहीं? कि Jordan में एक बार it was a lush valley once. All those who marked D, tell me, was B mentioned or not? In which one did you, both have been mentioned, you feel, right? In which one did you have more doubt? All those who marked, oh, there are some people who are marking A. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, we'll recheck. Now, answer time is over. Let's now see whether we got it right or wrong. All right. First, he said, yeah, we know that they migrated out by human fossils and archaeological sites. So, A mein he is not talking about that. What is A talking about? He says, no, sorry. He says humans migrated out of Africa by sea, chiefly by sea. Second one says Jordan had plenty of fresh water. Third one says it has been established conclusively, pakka. Fourth one says you can study past environmental settings by examining human fossils and archaeological sites. Now, the passage talks about human migration that they have studied through archaeological sites and human fossils. Environment ke bare mein, they did not say this. What did they say about the environment? They said that is done by luminescent studies or luminescence. So ye to migration ke bare mein hua. But the same line they have made by saying environmental studies. All right, therefore, this is actually in. So you have a doubt now. All right, we don't know much about the pathways of migration. It could have been this, it could have been that. That is what he said. All right, next you see. Our goal was to reconstruct the region's past environmental studies. So they used a technique called luminescence, not fossils, not the other one. But where did they say it was lush? It says that the valley once functioned as a freshwater corridor. Freshwater corridor. If it was a freshwater corridor, it had rivers, it had lakes, it had fresh water. But now you tell me which is the right answer. After reading twice, you still mark D. Why did you mark D? Because you did not, you were in a hurry. Now, this one said they had many inland routes, so not necessarily by sea, not chiefly by sea. It was not chiefly by sea. They used a lot of other inland routes. There was 350 kilometers of fresh water. All right, so the correct answer is B. Fresh water route, it had plenty of fresh water. Okay, now the moment you have a doubt on an option, कि migration chiefly by sea to inland routes likha tha, let me go and cross check. Here Conclusively established, nobody marked this. Okay, this was a most common error. Isme dekho, this is the most common error, obviously. So if the very first lines, he said migration was studied by examining fossils and archaeological sites. Why did luminescence come in the first place? Got it? So that is one easy direct question. Somebody asked, no, how many fact-based questions? This is the fact-based question that you will get in CAT. All are true except. Then you have to be really, and you have to eliminate every option, and that needs patience. So you have to leave more time for eliminating options rather than reading. When you read, you have to know luminescence was mentioned in the third paragraph. First paragraph mein ye tha. I gave you 20 seconds again. So when you read the first time, read quickly and thoroughly. Second time, when you're reading quickly, you're just looking at that part where the answer is mentioned. Yahan pe migration likha hai. Migration is not the same as studying environment. Environment was mentioned somewhere else. Then you go there and you say, ha, ye ho gaya. Now this part of the passage is clear to you. You don't have to read it again when there is a question. All right, what is question 3 asking? Pehle R3 ko samjhao. Okay, that you are doing in 3.5 to 4 minutes, correct? Actually, less you people take. Second, you have to understand the question. Now understand and tell me what this question means. Which of the following would add least depth to the author's argument? Or which of the following, if true, would have added least depth? पहले समझो ना. See, understand what it means. C is the name of the student here. Okay, therefore I'm saying C. I'm not saying C is the answer. No, not least likely, least depth. If I am adding depth to your argument, that means I am supporting it. Least depth means something that is not supporting it, okay, or something that is even weakening it. You adding depth to your argument means supporting it. So 3 of your option will support the author's argument, will strengthen the author's argument, will add depth to it. One option will either not do, not strengthen, or weaken. You are looking at that least supporting statement exactly. So which one is the least supporting statement? For this, I don't think you have to go back to the passage because we've read it twice already. It can be irrelevant also, Shivam. Okay, but what you're knowing is 3 of them will support. So one will either be irrelevant or not support or contradict, any of them. So which one will it be? Least support to the author's argument. You have to be smart in eliminating options here. You have to be really smart. I see some people who got the clue and have immediately marked the option. I'm not telling you which one. The Jordan Rift Valley was always a hyper-arid and desert-like region. If we've answered the earlier question right, if you've answered the earlier question right, so was this correct? Did the author say that the Jordan Rift Valley was always a hyper-arid region? Last question we learned that the Jordan Valley region was at one time a freshwater pathway. So how can you? So this goes against what the author is saying. Clear, and it's option A. Exactly. Even if you're confused, was mainly into Africa, but he said this. No, it was likely to be into Asia via the Sinai. Now, if this was correct, that human migration out of Africa was mainly into Asia via Sinai, it will go in line with what the author is saying. Author is saying maybe. You are saying if this is correct. See, many of this, which one would have added? So we are giving you a hypothetical 4 sentences which may support what the author. This is additional statements on our part. यहाँ पे with if true होगा, if true, if it had been given, you will know. This is additional information in support, or we can unit additional information. Instead of if true, the question setter has asking would have added least depth. वही Would have added means if it had been true, then which would work in support or against. So you have to take this. Agar ye sach hota, then if the Jordan Rift Valley was always a hyper arid and desert like region, it goes against the author's claim that it was green and freshwater route once. All right. But if this is correct, then it goes in line. The author is saying they might have taken Asia, reached Asia via the Sinai. If this is correct, it proves one line of his theory correct. It would add depth to that theory of his. The lack of human fossils makes determining path of, out of Africa inconclusive. He has said that. At the end, he says we don't have enough evidence to definitely say what is there because we don't have enough fossils. Yet numerous questions remain unanswered. Large swathes of territory, large stretches of territory in Southwest Asia have not yet been surveyed or dated, and there are very few fossils remain. Few means hardly any, bahut kam. A few means a small number. Few has a negative connotation. So he is saying few fossils have been found. We haven't found many fossils to shore up our arguments about how humans really disperse. So we don't really have much fossil evidence about how humans disperse. So right now what I'm saying is just a theory is what he's saying. Might have happened this way, might have, but past studies suggest that what is earlier been said that they went in one sweep is wrong. Got it? Therefore, if you say, so this also adds that we don't have enough human fossils, so we don't have inconclusive. So author is also saying the same. So it's in line. And he has also mentioned human fossils right in the first paragraph. Right? So A is, you don't even have to read other options for this. Because of the previous questions, this was a sitter. If you got it wrong, you have to look at why did I get it wrong. That means you when you read a passage, read to remember. We read it twice and we answered questions. Now you won't know that that question was correct, but those of you who answered that question correct and this question wrong, it is wrong, didn't get the answer C. Which one would not strengthen the author's suggestion? Or which one would weaken? Least depth means either not support or is weaken or irrelevant. Okay. Author is saying that the Jordan Rift Valley had fresh water once, unlike now. But if this is correct, the Jordan Rift Valley was always a dry region. It goes against what the author said. So it goes against the author's argument. It doesn't support the author's argument. The other three are close to what the author has said, so they support what the author has said. Therefore, A is the answer, that it adds least depth, or it weakens the author's argument, or it contradicts the author's argument. Does not strengthen the author's argument. Okay, least in this it contradicts. But least depth में आपको irrelevant भी होगा. Sometimes just a statement which does not support may also come. But here it contradicts, so it definitely is the answer. Understood? All right. Understand the question and then answer this question. Findings by the study challenged the assumption that. Question 4. You have to remember that you have to stay focused at 3 levels: the passage, the question, and the options. Every time you read the question, ask yourself, what is the question asking me to do? Then look at the options. In CAT, unless you do that, you will get your answers wrong. You will mess up. And then you will say, once I got the correct answer, once I didn't get. Give me the question number. Okay, 4, and then give me the answer. He's mentioned the study. All of you remembered the study. Findings by the study challenged the assumption that. Simple question. Understand what it's asking, then the answer becomes very easy. Okay, I'm still, there are most options, most students mark this, some students mark this. Okay, some, a couple of C's also I'm finding, a small number if we had put it. Okay, this is a majority. This earlier study and later study, the findings by the study is talking about the passage, the study that the whose findings the passage is mentioning. And it said that our study found that unlike what was thought before, this is what happened. Therefore, it challenged the question. This is what the present study says: there were multiple early human migrations from Africa into Asia during favorable conditions. It opposes the theory that there was a single rapid wave of human movement out of 60,000 years ago, out of Africa 60. So it challenges that assumption. Those of you who marked D, they didn't ask what is the author's main point. They ask, the author is challenging which point. The author's main point is to challenge which point. If you didn't understand the question, even after reading the passage correctly, you get your answer wrong. Right? Now, human migrants out of Africa were first into Asia, is what the study says. That is not challenging any assumption. The earlier study's assumption was this. The present study says this. Got it? So if you don't understand the question properly, you'll get an easy question wrong. All right. It's all about understanding the question. None of the questions in the passage were difficult. Not one. You found the passage easy to read, yet you made some mistakes. I told them keep it easy to moderate. I don't want anything difficult in today's class. This is also easy. Only big names are there. Don't get confused. All right, one or two unpronounceable French names are there. I had to read the pronunciation. I said, listening to it also will not help me pronounce it right. All right. Again, oh, definitely cat level, Shivam. Just a little cat, one passage at least you will get like this. 1 out of 4. Definitely get like this. All right, again, I'll give you 40 seconds for this. Each slide. The questions were definitely of cat pattern. The passage was probably a shade easier than cat. That also you can't say. I showed it to you for a little longer. You'll be reading this in half the time in cat and solving this also under pressure. So it suddenly looks difficult. Next slide. Next slide. All right. Now, do you want me to show you the passage one more time? Shall we go to the first question and then go back and read the passage quickly? Did you get an idea of the main point and the subject? I give you just 40 seconds per slide. Did you get a good idea of the main point? Let's say you read it in a hurry. All right. Let's look at the first question and then we'll go back to slide 1. All right. First question says, we have to look at the passage again. Each of the following statements is true except. That means, what are you looking at? Each of the following statements is true except. I'm showing you all the slides again for 20 seconds. I'm going to show you all the slides for 20 seconds. All right. What is the question asking? Each of the following statements is true except. What have you to look at? What do you have to identify? Quickly, I want to see the first answer, then I go back. Which statement is false? You are looking only at which statement is false. Now, quickly read the options. Because having seen the question, how are you going to know what have they said? So, quickly read the options. All right, let's say you read the question passage very fast. You remember a little, you don't. You're panicking. So, you start looking at the worrying results in less care for other ethnicities. The state approves of and authorizes the concept of worry. The main source of fear and paranoia in Australia is the theft of Aboriginal land. Australia has a racist past and will have a racist future. Now I'm going to show you each of the options for each of the slides for 30 seconds. Okay, next slide. Next slide. All right. All right. Which of these statements is false according to what you have read in the passage? Mohan gave me the answer before, gave me one answer before we even went to read it. He says it's D. Was pretty sure of the answer. What about the rest? Give me the question number 5 and mention. Kush Patel, Shubham thinks it's D. Mohan thinks it's D. Shivam also thinks it's D. Karthik D. Gaurav D. All right. Why is D false? D is the right answer. Tell me why is D false? Sorry. Tell me why is D false? One reason you quickly could say it's D. Don't say the other three are correct. The other three are correct. True. But what did D is extreme, and this part is not what the author has said. Right? Racism is there, but it's not like it. Then it goes against the main point. Right? Okay. Something wrong with the power there. Can you just see if the power in this? It's okay. I got it. Main objective of the passage. It's extreme, it's strongly worded, and the second part is not in line with what has been said. The main objective. What is the purpose? Why has the author written the passage? Exactly. Ha. Okay. Question 6. The main objective. Why has the author written the passage? What is the point of the passage? What are the traps you can get? Generally, we tell students for the main point, main objective, the sentence can, the option can cover things beyond the what has been mentioned, so it's too broad. It can only give 1 point, which becomes too narrow. It can use something out of scope. Those are the traps, and can play with words. Question 6. We don't have to go back to the passage for this because it's the main objective. Main objective and main point are different. Main point theme is a summary of the passage. Objective is to show that this is happening, to argue or to argue again, whatever. Right? So the wordings will be different. I'm surprised. I'm getting all options. A, B, C. Okay. Some more answers from the YouTubers. Come on. A, B, C. It's like A, B, C, D, D, C, B, A. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's read each paragraph because I don't expect you to get the main point wrong at this stage. All right. This is about a book. Against Paranoid Nationalism is the name of a book written by a person whose name is Hage. Okay. He talks about two opposite things. Worrying and caring are the parameters of narcissism and paranoia engulfing Australia. Always read the first few lines or the first paragraph slowly, more carefully, and the last few lines in the last paragraph. Unless the first paragraph seems like a hook. I went there, blah, 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 and then the main point comes. That's in a narrative. All right. Then he talks how worrying and narcissism. Worrying about the nation's present and future breeds a fear, hatred of outsiders. The book is a compilation of essays, and he says what holds a basically, he says that society becomes a market where individual interests are paramount and communal sense is not there. As a community, we're not there. So this such a society where the individual is more important is held together by images of threat. Okay, only strong and selfish stances are supported by the state. The state says it alone. Okay, it claims alone to stand against the threat from outside. And the state always sees the threat as coming from outside, from asylum seekers, from terrorists, threats from within, indigenous challenges to the colonial project, whatever. The state worries for the national project, those who support it. In the process, people become less willing to hope for a more caring future. So, worry and fear, worry and paranoia. Then he talks about how Australians, okay, indulged in colonial theft, which will become, which will be the source of their fear, which will become, force them to worry and never let them care. And what does he say? That the book has made a contribution, the author has made a contribution to your understanding of Australian and global racism, politics of domination and resistance. That's it. Okay. So now we look at what is the objective. To talk about the fundamental causes of racism, both in Australia and the world. Market driven economy कहाँ है? Fragmentation and dissipation of the community in the face of this individual is paramount. The threat that you see which comes from outside. Okay, so this is not the correct one. He has not provided any evidence, so this is not correct. Okay, yes, that emotions are encouraged and approved, not necessarily strong nationalistic emotions. Fear, worry, paranoia, all those are pushed forward by the state. All right, all right. Next one. What does worry result in? According to the passage, what does worry result in? If you can answer, look at the options. If you want to cross check anything, tell me which slide. First part, second part, roughly. 2.5 slides, 3 slides it is. Yeah. Do you want me to take you back to the passage after reading the options? Worry results in an alternative way of thinking through the possibility of a non paranoid inclusive identity, paranoia about outsiders, fear, obsessive fear, irrational fear, who might arrive at a dominant position in the future, native settlers feeling threatened, and a market economy that encourages communal fragmentation, or fierce fear and hatred of outsiders who might threaten the interests of native settlers. Okay, first paragraph says Ushnisha. Okay, let me take you back. First paragraph, I've taken you back. Let me put the timer on. I forgot that. All right, I've shown it for 30 seconds. Next paragraph. I've shown you the first slide, no, Mohan? Did you see it? For 30 seconds, I showed you the first paragraph, right? First paragraph says, worrying about the nation's present and future breeds an intense fear and hatred of outsiders who might threaten the interests of those who claim a unique right to worry. Colonial history as a contest of explanatory and emotional narratives becomes a struggle between conservative critics of black armband perspectives on colonialism and progressives searching for an alternative way of thinking through the possibility of a non paranoid inclusive identity. One correct answer is included here, one wrong answer is included here. Some of you went for one, some of you went for the other. Okay, we have done 5. We've done 6 also. Yeah. Okay. Worrying results in this. Okay. Colonial history perspective, there people are divided between one group and the other. The second group of progressives want to look at this. Therefore, the correct answer is C. What does worrying? This is also based on the information given in the passage. Somebody was asking how many direct question, direct question. But you have to read and you have to understand. Worrying results in A. Later in the same paragraph, he talks about colonial history, something, something, something. All right, and that results in 2 kinds of people. Some who want an alternative way of thinking. The progressive among them want this. The conservative among them want something else. Got it? Okay. According to the passage, Hage's contribution to understanding racism has been direct question. All 4 here have been direct, I think. every direct question in CAT has some play with words. They play with words. So if you rely on your imperfect memory, you will end up marking the wrong option. So according to the passage, according to the author, I would cross check. Once I say हाँ A ही है, I would cross check the passage and say A है क्या, B ही है, then I have to look at it. I will eliminate the option, then I'll go and check once. Is this right? So I would suggest you do that. If you don't do that, first let me see you mark the options. Mark the options. Then I'll show you the last set. Tanmay, just to tell you the risk you are at if you don't cross check. Okay? Mohan thinks it's A. Tanmay, just mark. Everybody mark. Mark. Mayur thinks it's A. Sorry. Shivam thinks it's C. Then I'll show you. I'll show you the passage. I'll give you the chance to correct yourself. But guess mark ke dekho. If with whatever you remember. Navneet thinks it's A. Ayushi thinks it's A. I'm interested to see what Tanmay wants to see the last slide. You will not give me the answer before that. Good attitude. I don't want to make a mistake when I know if I don't remember, I'm guessing. All right, shall I show you the passage now? Last slide, please. Okay, last slide. All those who have given the answers, you can change your answer. This is the last slide. Wait, let me go back. And in the exam, you have to read the last paragraph. The paragraph mercifully is right on top of the question, so you can see it. Now give me your answer. He made a singularly powerful contribution to understanding of Australian and global racism, the politics of domination and resistance. He celebrated his mentor Bourdieu's European lectures, blah blah blah. He was also a French social scientist, very famous. His name, unfortunately, is not. I can't pronounce it well. All right. Before that, kuch diya hai. He mentioned worry, correct? Worrying about the nation's present and future. He did mention it. Uh, did he say he was the first or unique in that? Let's go back now to the options. 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now let me see your answers quickly. Please put the question number and give me your answers. Question 8. Changed your mind? How many changed your mind? Navneet, Ayushi, Mayur. C is final. C it is. See, easy question. We all will go for A because we know he talked about worry and caring, but did the passage didn't tell us anything about new and unique. Yeah, many of you gave C at the beginning. All right. Market economies and fragmentation of society is not because of the connection with market economies. Okay. This, of course, is not there. Extraordinarily significant, he said. That's what he said. Okay. Ahan, you have to look at the reasons for that. You guessed some answers like this. Easy one, you didn't go back to the passage. That's what must have happened. All right, guys. 1 hour is done. We still have some time. We have half an hour more to finish this. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to treat this like the last passage of CAT. You just have 10 minutes to solve this. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to do this quickly and then we'll see how you make mistakes when you're in a hurry, when you don't read properly. 40 seconds per slide. I won't talk. Just keep showing. With the question, I'll again show you the slide for 30 seconds if you want, if possible. Otherwise, we'll just mark the answers. You don't have to go back in every question. You have to go back only for, you don't have to go back for main point questions. Go back means read only the relevant sections. Okay, I'm going to show this to you for 1 minute. Okay, each of the slides. Read, then we'll talk about that. You don't have to go back for every question, Tanmay, for the main point and all. Then you have to read the first time itself, you have to read quickly but thoroughly and restate what you're saying. So instead of reading for, let's say, 3 minutes, you can read for 4 minutes. All right. Here the text is more per slide, so I'm giving you a minute. I would still say 9 to 10 minutes for the first two RC, 9 minutes for first and second would be fine. And then you start reading faster, leave a question here, leave a question there, and then try. But at least attempt as many passages as you can, because your RC accuracy doesn't improve. The more questions you attempt, the better it is for you. And leave. All right. Attempt passages you attempt, leave the questions where you're not sure. But even the fourth passage, if you can do at least 2 out of 4, your chances of getting a higher score are better. All right. We can conclude everything except one cannot be concluded, right? I'll give you 30 seconds. Quickly come in with your answers. Punch in your answers. Answer. Punch in your answers. Then I'll take you back to the passage. But punch in your answers. Let me see. Let's say you don't have time to go back to. Are you going to attempt this question or not? Then we'll see whether you'll get them correct or wrong. Okay, so far I've seen A, B, C. I'm going to now show you. Okay, Shivam says D. All right, quickly punch in your answers. I'm going to show you the passage one more time. Okay, based on the information we can conclude is with the main point of the passage. So let's quickly go back to the passage. It has to do with the main points. First thing he says, we have a lot of cheap art, which is kitsch. Lot of cheap art, right? It's tasteless. So first part is basically we are in the point of drowning in cheap art. Oh yeah. Some people play with it by using irony. Okay, but most of the places it has negative connotations. Politics, dictators use it to reinforce their authority. You have Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, and even the nouveau rich, the upstarts who suddenly became rich in Russia, Middle East, and US, who excel in this kind of vulgarity, vulgar art. Terrorism, terrorists have used it just like Al Qaeda has used it. From here is the actual part which you should be reading. Why is there so much kish? It's when it's more than ever before. Why is it there? Okay, the attraction has to do with the phenomena of deculturation, a phenomenon in which a particular group is deprived of one or more aspects of its identity. The term emerged in sociology in debates about the effects of colonialism and the loss of culture. So, in the process of deculturation, when people are deprived of their identity, then they've been attracted to this cheap form of art. Human beings have always needed truths to believe in, whereas in the past, those truths were transmitted through cultures. Now they are produced instantaneously without cultural mediation. Kish is redefining our perception of truth, truth devoid of culture or context. The production of immediate, pure, and decultured truth is most obvious in the sphere of fundamental religions. Religious fundamentalism arises when religion is separated from the indigenous culture in which it was embedded. Radicalization occurs when religion attempt to divide them to define themselves as neutral and culturally pure. Neutral and pure. Religions are disconnected from concrete cultural values, then they say their truth is absolute and they say they are pure. They claim to be pure. That's what he says. So, option A, can we conclude that Kish takes its place in a society when a group's generic character is displaced? Generic character का synonym क्या है? What is your generic character? When a society loses its identity, then the attraction for Kish comes. Yes, you can understand this. Cultures generally told truth through cultures. Truth was propagated through culture. Once culture degenerated, we lost our connection with culture, then Kish started propagating the truth. So this also can be concluded. Contemporary society tend to be bereft. So in contemporary society, there is deculturation because of which we are engulfed in Kish. That means we are bereft of culture and context. But it doesn't occur when religions define themselves as pure, when religions define the radical religions define themselves as pure, but that is not where Kish occurs. Kish occurs for different reasons. Religion and radical religion also uses it, he says. He doesn't say it is a result of that. Got it? Play it with words throughout. Okay, and when you are in a hurry, I gave you only very little time. I gave you 1 minute, but you read the passage in 2.5 minutes, max 3 minutes. That's it. All right. The passage outlines several definitions and examples of Kish to arrive at the most convincing explanation for which question. The passage tries to answer which question. Why do societies have so much Kish? Why have societies lost their cultural moorings? Why have societal groups lost their identities? Or why religious radicalization deploys? What is the answer? What is the passage trying to answer? That will be the main point of the passage. What is the author trying to answer in the passage? Give me the question number, huh? What is the main question he's trying to answer? He has asked it in the passage also. I want more answers quickly. Doesn't matter you're getting it wrong. If you get it wrong, if you have to. Yeah. All right. Yes. Why is it there? Why is so much of that happening? Because we are going through a process of deculturation. We've lost our identity. We look for truth. Truth was told to us through our culture. Now we don't have that. So Kish has become our culture. It is propagating instantaneous truth, which is not the truth. We think it is true. All right. Which one would weaken the, somebody said mujhe, strengthen, weaken, I have a problem. Okay. Undermine the passage's main argument. So what is the passage's main argument? Whatever they're asking you to weaken, right? Find, tell me in one sentence, what is that? What is the main conclusion? Main argument means conclusion. What is the author's main conclusion? Why is there so much kish? Because of deculturation. Okay, that is happening now. Earlier, we used to find out truth through our culture. But now we've lost that. We lost our culture, we've lost our identity. So we are attracted to vulgarity, cheap art, and to kish. And people are using it. Dictators, radical religions, everybody is propagating this. Okay. Which one will undermine this main argument of the passage is what he's asking. Okay. So if that is the main argument, which one goes against that argument? Why is there so much cash in society? Because of deculturation. We have lost our culture. So we are attracted to cash as a means of finding the truth, finding our identity. Correct? So which one would go against that? That is how you weaken it. To strengthen it, suppose my conclusion says this is the easiest question in the set. To, 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 to strengthen it, which fact would make you say, huh, this answer that ma'am is saying, that this claim that she's making, this is the easiest question in the set. How will I strengthen it? By giving me a fact which says this is the easiest question. Everybody got it right. Now, my claim that this is the easiest question in the set is strengthened. I didn't explain it properly, Aditya. Yeah, if you don't have the time, you don't go near it. But do not give up. See, there was one which was on, I think it was 2020, if I remember. 2020, 2020, was it topophilia? There was some passage. Most students read that word and said it's difficult. That question I answered in the last 30 seconds. That was the last passage I did. I did that and another question. 2 out of 4 ho gaya in that, because it just asks what is the meaning of this word. Go to the word, find out, read those 2 lines. Ho gaya. All right, many of you got it right. So Aditya, do not say that. Let's say you're reading it in a hurry and this is the last passage. Obviously, you'll find it difficult to concentrate. This is exactly the problem you will have. You will not go near it. Do another summary question. But if you have time, at least 2. Main objective, easy. Why has the author written the passage? What is his purpose in writing the passage? This you will answer, Aditya, even if you with whatever little you read. You can answer this question along with the others. Yeah, just try. Answer this question with whatever you read and whatever explanation you got. Ushnisha, read every word in the option. Read every word in the option. B and C are very close. You have to just choose between B and C. But B and C are close. So which one is a better option? That's what you have to look at. B or C. Which is a better one? That's all you have to look at. Dominant, prevalent एक ही है, right? Not just contemporary societies and not just analyze reasons. He first tells you what it is. And then he says it's an aesthetic quality. So everything is there in C. C is better worded than B. Otherwise, B would be correct. No, this is not a main point. This is not cultural context can bring about कि she didn't say. You're attracted to it and therefore it becomes prevalent. All right. Not no, 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 no. I would never say, see, last minute you should never ever answer an RC. Last minute is always for parajumbles. But what I'm saying is, most students, I tell them, keep a 30-10 uh, balance because this 30 will become 32, 33. In 30 minutes, most of you can easily do 2.5 passages. I tell them push it to at least 3. Now, when I say 3, either you can do, you are not going to attempt all the questions, third passage ka 2 question answer kiye, or though you are not very sure. Then in the fourth one, if there is one which is main point or something and you manage to read it, you do it. Okay. 3, if you can manage, fantastic. 4, of course, I'd be very, very happy. All right, guys. Now, every day of this week, we are having sessions on the crash course, and you attend every day. We work very hard to bring this to you. Tomorrow, Gaurav, next, Saral, Vikrant with getting parajumbles right. We have created, tried, see, parajumbles, how many can you do at a stretch? Right? So, a good blend of easy and difficult, past year, some of the tough ones. The logic is what we concentrating on. And 30th Saral. Also, we will have, of course, the CAT slot-wise detailed analysis on November 26th. Right from the first slot, we'll be taking the test and bringing you slot-wise detailed analysis. Don't forget to join that. I am trying to see, I will talk to our tech team and ask what is the problem, why you people are not able to access your the website, the test series. All right. All right. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you learned enough from it. And if this session gives you at least 3 or 4 extra points, I will consider that a success. It will definitely do that. Just keep working on mocks, analyze your performance. Don't get too disheartened by a low score in the middle, like somebody was saying, why is it fluctuating? Because of your focus. If you ask me to take a test now, take a mock that I have created, if you ask me to take it now, I will make mistakes. All right, by the way, I had not read the last passage. I thought I'll attempt it with you. All right, I wanted to attempt it with you and I did. So that is the key as to how you can do under stress conditions, maximize your marks. All the best to each and every one of you. Attend our session 7 p.m. Stay locked on our app and YouTube channel. Make sure you're there and press a like and thumbs up as usual. All right. All the best. Do well. I will see you very soon in another session. Until then, keep working hard. Keep practicing. Keep attempting the mocks. I think the next open mock is around the corner. Tomorrow, midnight, it is going to be released. Do take that. All right. Register for it first. All right. See you. Bye bye.